are looking positively towards the future. We should tell them, we should be honest with them and tell them, first of all, before we can rebuild what has been torn down, we have to clear the house. And this is going to take time. Now, as Hiba was asking, and let me clarify on the issue of the ideology. Look, Egypt and Korea had followed the same ideology in 1972, economic ideology. But one was Korea, implemented it the proper way. We in Egypt did not. It's just like taking a boat and driving it on a highway. The highway is good, the boat is good, but the one who decided to get that boat on the highway is the guy who's wrong. So we should not, because we have that, we should not tear down the highway and throw the boat away. We come to the man who drove that boat and tell him, you get away. We're going to bring the boat back into the sea and we're going to bring the truck on the highway. So, now, the third thing I want to say, you know, we appreciate very much the Chilean experience. And I think they did a great job. But they did it within their own circumstances. There is no one fix for everybody. Egypt was able to fix its economy several times, and redirect its economic path several times. There were some failures, there were some successes. But I think now it became very clear that the issue is in how we move ahead, and how do we move ahead, and how do we bring the people and tell them, come on guys, move from revolution to evolution. This is the time to do that. If we stay longer, it's going to be chaos. And this scares us. It scares us a lot. That's what I wanted to say before we start moving into having special laws and special this and special that. Please, let's revisit our system, fix our system. Our system is good. It has been there for 2,000 years, and it will still work. Believe me, it will. Thank you.
Thank you, Cesar. May I ask Mr. Bitar from the Chilean experience to put or to explain what has been the economic and political benefits of Chile being one of the less corrupt countries in the world. The political and the economic. I think there are both important benefits out of being less corrupt than other countries.
I agree with what my colleague from Jordan has said. In our experience, you need to have very strong judiciary. It's better to have the judiciary, an independent judiciary, than to create parallel systems. So what we need on the issue of human rights was, the pressure was enormous and was an ethical issue there. The families have lost their members of the family. So that was a major issue in our case, and in Argentina the same. So we had to respond. The democracy that doesn't respond to justice is not a democracy. People expect from a democracy justice, and without justice you don't have democracy. So it's very important to have independent and strong tribunals. A judiciary system separate from the rest and very strong. That I think is essential. Now, what we did is to create a commission, and we asked very brilliant people from all political sectors to make an analysis of the violations of human rights, and what they did at the beginning was the identification of the thousands of people, their names, and the conditions that were, how they disappeared or were killed. So to say, this happened. And the President of the Republic came out to the press and to say, I ask pardon from the state because of what the dictatorship has done. And this has been done, and now all this will go to the tribunals. So the tribunals start working, and also we put in government It's revenge, it's true, it's not true, so the tribunals are for that. So I agree on that, on the human rights that has worked, and even today, we have, today, 34 years later, we are now condemning people through the tribunals of what they did 30 years ago. So justice never ends. People must know that they will be punished. Whatever happens, even if it's before, it's better. If it's late, it's better than none. So on corruption, we did something different. We went to the Congress started resolving and discussing that, and then that went to the tribunals in the same way. And finally, 1 second, we start organizing a system for controlling and avoiding corruption. So we must do laws of transparency. We strengthen the capacity of the Controller General. We gave, of course, the press was free. The press starts talking, that helps a lot. Then we have those tribunals, as I said, and also the people were not tolerant. That's very important in a democracy, that people would react immediately. So we developed the system and we measure corruption. There are international measurements of corruption. So when the country will go down one step, everyone will say what's going on, what we should improve. So tolerance zero for corruption also is something that comes from culture, not only from institutions.
Thank you very much. Do you have final words, statement, or questions? Up to you.
It's a question. Well, actually, I have a question with regard that in transitional situations like the one Egypt is in at the moment, it seems inevitable that there is a very strong need to increase taxes. So a tax reform that is geared toward raising the tax rate ceilings, even if it's for a while, temporary, I mean. So what happens if the private sector, the business society in general, is strongly opposing such increase in taxes, is completely insupportive of it, and in fact, it goes to the extent that they voice threats, kind of threats, that this will undermine national businessmen from investing inside, and it will drive away foreign direct investment. So what happens in situations like this? What happened in Chile, for example, or in other countries, and what is your recommendation to handle a situation like this? Thank you.
Very much. May I give both of you 2 minutes the word, 4 minutes, and then close the session?
I'll just answer very quickly. It's not only in Chile or other places. Usually, countries are like human beings. You do not intervene when they are unstable. That is the worst thing you can do. You first have to stabilize things, or else you will be fighting, as you said, the businessmen, and at the same time, not appeasing the crowd. Because you're not going to be able to deliver very quickly. And all of a sudden, you would create within the same country 2 groups. In transitional periods, you don't want to do that. You want to keep a single group. You want to keep everybody's eye on the ball. So it is not advisable to play with taxes now. But once people go back to work, and you start a social program that people start to see, not even to feel, just to see, that this is your intention, then you start collecting the bill. And now you have to go, unfortunately in Egypt, although they never listened to me when I was ambassador, I always used to tell them that. You have to have a progressive tax rate. This is part of social risk. When people, of course, the one who makes 100 pounds pays 1 pound, the one who makes 1,000, he pays 10. So it is progressive, although it's a single rate. But it is not foreseen, it's not perceived as that. So a single tax rate is not acceptable as you're developing your economy. It is not acceptable. That's number one. Number two, I would emphasize and tell you again, at this point, let's go back to work and let's do things the right way. It's not only important to do the right things, but we have to do them right. Let's do things the right way, and as things start developing, as people start going back to work, then we start to look at remedies, whether they're economic policies, new economic policies, fiscal policies, or political activities, or social policies, or monetary policies. All this, we have first to stabilize the country, the economy, the political structure. Even if we are in a transitional government, the perception in transitional governments, and I'm not talking only about Egypt, that they're not willing to take hard choices. It's not that they're not willing, they can't. They can't. So, to answer you, no, don't play with the taxes at this time. It's very dangerous.
Thank you very much. Sergio?
We're being told to go back home.
You have to look at the opportunity, but you have to be very strong for increasing taxes on wealthy people in order to achieve social change. I don't know what's the proportion of taxes of Egypt to the GDP.
Flat rate.
20%?
Flat rate.
It's a flat, yeah, and I heard that mostly indirect taxation.
The income tax is a flat 20%.
Flat income tax.
But let me just say to you that every time we increase taxes, it was a big fight, and always be like that. They will defend themselves. So what we did was linking increase of taxes to social programs. We said we want to make educational reform, we need more money. And then also we moved by saying you want to buy stability, you need social policies. You want education and to have trained people, you need to invest. So you have to fight for that and you have to increase that. That's we are weak on that side. Chileans. We are today 18% of GDP is low.
Thank you very much for this.
That will be part of our next campaign.
This is your profession. Okay, thank you very much, all of you.